Back in 2022, I turned an empty garage into this awesome studio. But now it's time to take it to the next level with a little help from my friends at Sweetwater. New year, new studio, let's go. Having now used the room to record music and shoot video in it for the last few years, I love it a lot, but there are some things that could be improved and I will put it off no longer. I need a place that's gonna look crazy good and also really pro to shoot all of my content in and my music videos. When I first built the studio out, I had the idea to put LED lights on a middle strip and point them out at the walls that are made of acoustically transparent fabric so that I could change the color of the walls whenever I wanted to. It's a cool idea, but it does have some shortcomings. Currently, I can't even lean something against the wall, much less hang or mount stuff on it. And because of the way the LED power source is, I have to run these lights at full brightness or they flicker on camera. But I don't want to lose the cool wall lighting effect that I have going here either, or to block the acoustic treatment. So what I'm gonna do is a spaced slat wall that will diffuse the light and create a cool effect of the light coming through the slats, and will also allow me to hang and mount things on it, like for example, acoustic treatment or guitars or artwork.
Like obviously way better, but it's more per foot than the other one is for the whole thing. And that is just not in the budget.
I have a bit of a vision in my mind for what this will look like, but I'm not really like a designer on that level. So I have to do like proof of concept of everything. So I'm just gonna test it out, leaning them up against this wall here. Doesn't do a whole hell of a lot, does it? Huh. That's probably like 60 to 70% covered right now. That looks good though. I'm also going to paint them black. I don't know if that's gonna make a huge difference. From my mock-up, I decided on doing a 1-inch spacing on the slats, which means I now have no excuse not to start painting and assembling the first wall. It's a little scary to start a project this big, but now that I've seen a little of what it could look like, I'm just starting to get excited. Oh my God, whew! That was a lot more of a workout than I was expecting. But so far, I'm very happy with the results. Let's try a couple different looks here. That looks way better to me. Great for the studio, bad for my wallet and my time. Now I have to do that whole process 7 more times. I'm really hoping that the look will scale up and that I didn't just buy $500 worth of 1x2s and a 5-gallon bucket of matte black paint for Bubkiss.
This might be obvious, but I feel as though I need to say this for the record. I'm not a contractor or any kind of professional anything. Don't do anything that you see me do here just because I do it. I have little to no idea what I'm doing, and if it gets done right, that's a mistake for legal reasons. The way that I just put this wall up is really dumb to do by yourself. Don't do it like that. I got it like halfway up there and I was like, this was a mistake.
Update. This is what it looks like right now. Significant improvement, but also some unintended consequences, i.e. on this sidewall, which just looks completely entirely black. And of course, I probably should have imagined that this would be true, but as you sort of move where the camera is, the slats appear closer together. So since this wall is at like a very steep angle to the camera, it just looks like one continuous black wall. That will change a bit once I get the treatment on there, because then there will be something on there breaking it up. But like, look at this behind me. Like, come on, that looks way better. Right now, it is really diffusing the light in a way that I like, and it's much more interesting. And almost as important, I am just going to continue because sunk cost fallacy.
Got a really big job today, which entails me taking everything off of the desk just about so that I can pull the thing out far enough to put up these slats on the walls behind the desk. I'm also going to take the opportunity to sort of reorganize everything, the cable situation, just where everything sits on the desk. I haven't really gone back there and cleaned up at all since I put it in. So I figure now is probably the best chance I'm gonna get for a really long time to get in there and actually do some work. That is just so much better. This is all of the cables that were back there. What the hell? But now I have to play a very challenging level of Tetris in order to get this desk far enough away from the wall that I can do the rest of it. But I was pretty good at Tetris as a kid, so let's fucking go. Doing the trim today, which means I'm going to be able to cover up a wide variety of terrible mistakes that I made. The reason that trim is great is because you can use it to cover up just a bunch of little inconsistencies. It brings a very finished look to the space. It sort of frames the room in a nice and professional looking way. But the problem is that you can't fuck up the trim, because if you fuck up the trim, then you've got nothing left to cover it with. So my goal today is to not fuck up the trim. Huh. Shit.
If you've ever wondered what it looks like inside my brain, you can just take a look at my storage shelf. I utilize what's known in academic circles as the pile system, where you just chuck shit on top of other shit, and then when you need something, you go on an archaeological expedition to dig it out. I highly recommend doing literally anything else. That's what I call progress.
So then we come around to this wall, the green screen backdrop wall. I shoot a lot of stuff on here because I shoot a lot of green screen video. I've decided for the time being that I am not going to put slats on the green screen wall. And if later on I decide that I need to do it, then I'm gonna do it. All I'm gonna do right now is put a beam up top. And what that's gonna allow me to do is to put like a vary pole across the top going that way. And that way I'll be able to clamp lights and stuff to it. And that's gonna save me so much floor space. Fucked up. I just installed these top pieces the same way I've been doing them all the way around. But if you look, you'll see why it's a problem. They're too thin. I'm not going to be able to attach anything to that. It needs to go width-wise. And now I got to do it again. Kill me. All of these boxes just arrived. Got all kinds of glorious gator gear from my pals at Sweetwater, and we've got the acoustic treatment panels from GIK. Hell yeah, let's dig in. Jesus, I'm gonna be able to build my own Stonehenge out of these. But real quick, I gotta talk about the unsung heroes of the musical instrument industry that Gator is. Gator makes stuff that most people aren't going to get excited about. They don't make stuff that's like sexy, like a nice new guitar that you're like, oh, my brand new Les Paul that I'm so excited about that I get to play music on. But they make all of the stuff that everyone needs. It's kind of a thankless job. Nobody's ever like, oh man, I can't wait to get my guitar hangers. But if you don't have them, where are you gonna hang your shiny new Les Paul? You gonna lean your $7,000 Les Paul up against your amp? It feels wrong even just saying it. I can feel your new guitar's headstock breaking off. But that's not gonna happen to me. I'm gonna get to hang up my guitars and they're going to be safe hanging on the wall, thanks to Gator. And honestly, I think by the time I'm done putting all this stuff together, you guys are gonna be like, damn Trey, it kinda is sexy. Because I make everything look sexy. So what have we got here? So these kind of crossbar thingies create like a frame on the desk. I'm going to mount a bunch of stuff on them. I actually have one of these on my other desk and I think it's amazing. Basically, I'm gonna be able to suspend all of my gear from this thing. Like, I'm gonna be able to put cameras and lights and everything on this. I should have measured. The primary goal is just to be able to get stuff off of the desk and have it just kind of floating in the air. Tell me that's not incredibly sick. Just clamps right onto the desk. Then we're gonna add these bad boys and turn it into General Grievous. I don't even know specifically what I'm going to do with these 4 arms. I'm kind of just excited about the possibilities. One of the reasons I'm addicted to things like this is because of the flexibility. I geared out this whole place to be as flexible as I could make it because I do so many different kinds of things. So for example, I need a light here, right? This is gonna be my fill light. Comes with these little attachments that you just screw in. Here's my light. It just goes wherever I need it to go. Put a camera on this one. What's not to like? Because I often record myself singing here, I like having the mic just ready to go. I wanted to upgrade to a low profile boom. So let's check out this one from Gator. I am kind of obsessed with modular things. I love the idea of being able to just change everything up to suit my needs of the moment. The framework system is super modular and that makes me very excited. Like this just clamps right on. Sheer convenience of it. This is magnetic and I can feed the cable. So then when it's time to cook up some vocals, pull it over here, push it out of the way when I'm done. Once again, super convenient to place it wherever I need it, and just as important for it to not be in the shot. I'm not gonna plug anything in until I figure out where everything is actually going to go.
I'm really trying to keep my desk free of clutter, so I'm going to attempt to mount my computer and USB hub to the underside of the desk. As you can see, I need a gigantic hub for the 40,000 peripherals and MIDI controllers I use instead of going to therapy.
So now I'm gonna hang some of these guitar hangers on the wall. Because I'm not hanging them directly on a wall like you normally would, I'm a little concerned about drilling them directly into these 1x2s. So I'm gonna use some of these scrap 1x2s to make a little sort of panel to give it something a little bit more substantial to hang on, since I'm going to be hanging my babies on this. I'm about to start working on the cable situation and I hit a bit of a snag and I feel dumb for not considering this. This is the cable management bag thingy that Gator sent over, and it's supposed to hang under this. And as you can see, I've got these clamps. So I'm gonna have to get real creative real fast. I think what I'm gonna try and do with some scrap 1x2s, make it so that the bag can be out here, kind of like this. A little janky, but so is literally everything else I do. We are so back, girl bosses. I made these as promised. Slight hiccup, since I can't actually drill into this desk to screw them in, I'm going to have to clamp them in, but it's fine. It's fine. All of my cables are too long. They're always too long, but it's better than too short. So you just do one of these and Bob's your uncle. Now I have to remember how to wire up all of this stuff that I so cavalierly ripped all of the cables out of. Today is a very fun day. Touch-up day. There's just a lot of little things and I've sort of just had to live with them, like these nails and stuff. So it's going to be a very satisfying day if nothing else. One of the biggest challenges that I've been facing doing this is just the sheer amount of Tetris that I have to do with all of the gear that I have in the studio. And you might be thinking to yourself, well, Trey, you just have too much shit. And you'd be right. But that's something that you can help me out with, something that we can help each other out with, because I am actually selling a ton of this stuff because I agree, I have too much stuff and a lot of it I just don't use. So I have it for sale in my gear exchange store that you can find at the link in the description. I've realized that like picking permanent spots for things is in a sense a little bit of folly because everything's going to probably move. So I've made some like shitty mock-ups of what the walls are going to look like, and I have a general idea of where everything's gonna go, but the fact is, unless I just start putting things up, I'm not really gonna get a solid sense of where everything's gonna go. So in the spirit of that, and also just to kind of get myself inspired, I'm going to just hang up this massive canvas version of my band's album, Age of Legends by In Virtue. When I was thinking about doing all of this, this was sort of one of the primary things that I had in mind to hang up because I'm extremely, extremely proud of the album and all of that. Plus, this will be in every shot if I'm shooting at the desk. So having this here will, I think, inspire me throughout the remainder of this project. I feel like I've completed the first 90% and all that's left is the second 90%. Having this up feels enough like a victory to keep me going. So I have a really crazy idea. I've had this TV that I put up in the stream room like more than a year ago and I never use it. And I think what I want to do is hang it up here for being able to monitor myself while I'm shooting. I'm just gonna do it. Who's gonna stop me? Here's another little just quality of life upgrade as a gift to myself, and that's a snake. This right here is the Gator Cableworks Backline Series 6x2 drop snake, and 6x2 just means that it has 6 inputs and 2 returns, and these I'm gonna use as headphone outputs. And that's so that if I'm sitting at the desk producing someone who's over here recording, like say vocals, then they can plug their headphones into here so they can hear themselves and then plug whatever they're recording into these, and this goes into the interface. That way I don't have to be awkwardly running a bunch of individual cables every time I want to record somebody. Unbelievably clutch. I'm just trying to reduce the amount of friction for creation. In fact, I think you could pretty much sum up everything that I'm trying to do in here in 2 main goals, which is to reduce friction and increase organization. And so far, I am definitely hitting both of those. And it feels really good. No girls allowed. As you can see, most of the rest of the treatment has arrived from GIK, so I'm a very happy boy.
These are the GIK Amplitude acoustic panels, and aside from adding some crucial treatment to the room, they also complete the aesthetic I'm going for and break up the slat look a bit.
As you can see, I have considerably reduced the number of loose cables just hanging out in my studio, and that's because now they're on these handy racks. Not only have I reduced the number of free-floating cables in the studio, I've also drastically lowered the levels of cortisol in my body.
I have accrued an absolute hoard of patch cables over the years, but they're never accessible when I need them. But then I remembered that I have free will, and Gator makes the perfect little patch cable hanger.
Today might be the most important day of the whole build. I'm doing something that is actually genuinely dangerous, and if I don't get it right, it could literally kill me. The time has finally come to install the ceiling panels that GIK sent, and they're kind of fucking huge. I didn't really understand how big they were when they told me what they were sending. They're 8 inches thick, built out of a wooden frame that's gonna be hanging directly over my head. So if I don't really strongly secure them to the ceiling, it could easily fall on me, and that would just be the end of it. So I just want you to know that if this is my final video, it's been a blast. GIK recommended I use something called Z-clips, and that's what I've got here. I screwed this into the ceiling joists, and then it just kind of slides in. Pretty low profile. I learned my lesson from earlier in this video when I tried to put up this huge slat wall all by myself. And I'm gonna be employing the buddy system and enlisting the help of my friend Speeve. So wish me luck and not to die.
Okay, let's do this thing.
5 minutes. It's supposed to be 44 and 8 doors.
I guess I'll guide it in.
Trey, some high five!
Do you remember what this looked like when we started? That was 6 months ago. Yeah, I started this in December and it is now June. Go back to the beginning and just look at my face. I literally lost 20 pounds since then. I've watched enough HGTV to know that it's time for some hopeful sounding dotted eighth note delay and the big reveal. The studio is always going to be an ongoing project in some respect. I'm always changing everything around, moving stuff, changing how it works, because I need that flexibility because I do so many different kinds of things. I set it up to be flexible, and for that reason, it's never really going to be done. It's never going to be perfect. I'm never going to be able to have perfect cable management because I'm always taking things out and moving them around, and it just isn't going to happen. There's always going to be a little bit of chaos, and I'm okay with that. But I am extremely stoked on this iteration of the studio, and I'm very excited to start working in here. Huge thanks to Sweetwater and Gator for sending me stuff to make this possible. Hit the links in the description to where you can get some for yourself. Stay squishy, and I'll see you real soon.